What's the biggest controversy in Grammys history, in my opinion? So no one asked me. When bloody old mate Macklemore won the best hip hop album. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Full of Fans podcast.
Episode 2. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1. We've had some epic feedback, which has been really cool, so appreciate it.
Yeah, and as always, if you have any more feedback or questions or anything, make sure to leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, DM us on Instagram and all that stuff.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about Laneway recap because we both went to Laneway together.
Laneway, New Zealand.
Very cool, Laneway, New Zealand. And we are also going to talk about the Superbowl.
As of recording, Superbowl was 2 days ago.
Yep. We had Kendrick Lamar featuring Scissor play, but we'll get into it in a minute. And then time provided, we'll also chat about the Grammys because those have just been, it's been a big couple of weeks for music, eh?
It's been a massive few weeks. All such within a close period of time. So it's good. We can all talk about it in a single podcast.
I feel like we had even just for live music, we had a drought for God knows how long, and then all of a sudden it's bam, you've got a massive music event every day of your life for 3 months. Okay, let's chat about Laneway, eh? We both went to Auckland's Laneway, and that was at Western Springs this year, so it was the second year that it's been at Western Springs.
Should be the third year if it didn't get rained off that first one.
Should have been the third year, RIP, that was Fred again. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, back when Fred again was at the most hype of his career.
I know.
Arguably.
Amazing landing that, but then also this year you can also say amazing landing Charlie because she's one of the biggest artists in the world.
Oh yeah.
If not the biggest. Yeah.
Not the biggest, but one of it.
One of. So what were your thoughts? How did you find it?
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I think Laneway has always been, like we've said this in the last episode, Laneway has always been one of my favorite festivals to go to, purely because they curate such good lineups, I think, and it's not always the most popular person to be the headliner, to sell the tickets. It's always a curation of 5 artists who kind of all fit together, and then some local or less known people on the rise underneath that. Yeah. Typically past Laneways I've maybe only known 4 or 5 people when I initially go there, but this time I knew 3, maybe 4. If I'm being honest, I was a fan of 2, and then the rest of the time was just me discovering my new favorite artist.
Yeah, which is cool.
Possibly, yeah.
That's really cool. I think that's what I like. What you just said. That's what I've always liked about Laneway is that you discover artists and you walk away a real fan. And it's not often that you go to a concert and get surprised these days because you like to pre-plan and know what you're in for. But Laneway, I feel like you'll walk away and you'll start listening to someone that you saw live because they blew you away and your friends took you to them and you didn't expect to or plan to go to see to them necessarily.
That exact thing happened to me.
Yeah.
That we will talk about soon.
Yeah.
But Danny already knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it was with me, right?
You and Ollie
and my group brought you to them, which were pretty cool. Yeah. But, why don't we start there? What favourite acts? Let's chat about our favourite acts.
I have 3. There could be a controversy within here because a big artist is not in my top 3. But number 1 for me was actually that new artist that I went to, which is Joey Valence and Bray. Yeah. Wasn't planning to see them at all. Yeah. Didn't even know who they were. Didn't even listen to any of their music pre-Laneway. Yeah. But then I was by myself because my phone decided to break itself. And then I ran into Danny at Remy Wolf and just hung out with her. And then her and all her group were going to Joey Valence. I was like, I don't want to be alone. Let me just go in here. I'll just come. And then, bro, their energy, from the get-go, was insane. And it's not even just them. The crowd was really good. They were on the smaller stage, so less people, but the people who were there for them. Yes.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it. But then even it felt like there were a lot of taggers along, but everyone got into it, and it was it was such a good crowd. I think that's what, and even just Laneway in general was an awesome crowd, I thought. But at Joey Valence and Bray, it's quite pump up, energetic music.
For sure.
There are a couple of people kind of throwing fists and stuff, but it was all everyone was very respectable. I think it was the first crowd that I've been in an act or a genre like that where I felt like I had a lot of breathing room. I could stretch my hands out and people weren't bugging me, and kind of going to the crowd being respectful. One thing that I've literally never ever done, not to mention it was incredibly hot and there was no shade. So I took my shirt off. I was wearing a bikini shirt.
Take her shirt off. She wasn't naked. But.
No, I was wearing a bikini, but I didn't feel like I originally was like, I'm going to have to do this because I'm going to boil alive. And I needed to put the shirt on my head because I didn't want to get sunburned and I wasn't wearing a hat. But I was really self-conscious and conscious about what people would like think of the fact that I done that or look at me in a funny way. Literally no one blinked an eye. I don't think anyone even realized that I wasn't wearing a shirt. Like everyone was just like happy vibes, having a good time. Yeah. So
at festivals it's normal, bro. Like you see people who are literally like half naked sometimes at festivals, especially in like summer. Like, bro, if you want to walk around like that, that's chill. Like it's hot, and I understand. Yeah,
yes, it is, and I guess it kind of should be normal in a way. But then I also feel like in New Zealand we are just so not accepting. Like we're so quick to turn our nose up at behavior like that from people. I don't know. I guess we're a very small a small country, and everyone knows everyone. And half the time, if you see someone doing that, you're like, "Oh, I know her. She works with blah blah blah." Or
but they don't care.
Yeah, but I guess not.
Why do you care?
Yeah.
It's not affecting your life negatively.
Well, 100%. That's how it should be, but I don't know if it is.
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
If it's not, you people are horrible.
Yeah, you people are mean.
You people are horrible. Just let people live their life.
Sort it out.
Yeah, hard.
But anyway, sorry, I took that conversation off track a wee bit. So Joey Valence, amazing.
Joey Valence, they were by far and away the best set of the day.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
Yes.
People will be upset by that because of obviously who the main headliner was, but you know, just Joey Valence, bro, just better.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 2, Olivia Dean. Big Olivia Dean fan. She was one of the artists that I wanted to see. Going in, I saw her name, and bro, the most majestic person in the whole planet.
I know.
I swear, like her vocals, amazing. The band was really good too. You know,
her bass player was like locked in.
Yeah,
I loved her bass player. I started looking at him.
They were all locked in. But she just seems like such a good person as well. Like such a fun, like carefree soul, and I feel like that translates to her performances on stage as well.
Yeah.
So Olivia Dean, amazing, incredible voice.
Yeah,
I'm a big R&B guy. She's got a lot of R&B soul flavor into her music, so
yeah, she does.
I was always gonna enjoy that.
Yeah.
And third, who did I have third? Remy Wolf. Remy Wolf was third for me.
Yeah.
I think her stage presence was great. Energy was on point. The vocals were still good. Like all these people had great vocals live.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't one person that I saw that didn't have good vocals, to be fair, but I think Remy Wolf's music just fit the vibe everyone was going for. It was like peak when it was hot. It was like at 4 p.m. I think. And I don't know, she just brought good energy.
Yeah. No, I'm all about that. First, I am probably tied, to be honest. I can't quite pick out of Joey Valence and Bray. Loved them. I think that was also my peak enjoyment of the festival as well. Like by the time Charlie rolled around, I was tired and I had sore feet and it was time to go home kind of thing. Classic, I'm old. But yeah, Joey Valence and Bray probably first. They were awesome. Yeah, I loved every second of it. Charlie, second, maybe tied for first. That to me was just, I think I'd been looking forward to it just for such a long time, and it was just iconic to finally see her on stage. It was interesting as well, which is kind of, it's probably designed specifically, but her set felt very much tailored to the screens. Like
the visuals were crazy.
The visuals were really, really cool, but it was just really clever camera work. So they basically just had like a chest cam and an operator with a camera on his chest, and he was just tracking her the whole time, and he was running around her, and it was essentially just an iMag visual. So that camera feed was projected on the screens, and it's really simple, but it's so smart when you've got 26,000 people or however many watching from so far away.
You have to execute it right as well, otherwise it just looks like, you know, monotonous camera work. But the person, he was putting an effort, or she, whoever they were, I think put an effort.
100%. And Charlie really, like, they clearly had choreographed some moves. Like they'd worked with it. He would run backwards and she'd run towards him and then push him away, and it was really cool. So that was awesome. I feel like we were quite far away for that.
Yeah, we were.
It was hard to see.
Me not having it on my top 3 does not mean I thought her set was trash.
No.
I just thought there was 3 that were better.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think I liked the vibe that Charlie had in her set, like crowd-wise. The atmosphere was amazing, and there were so many people singing along, and I thought her set was really good. I've seen a couple of things on social media post Laneway saying that they were disappointed because it was essentially just Brat the whole time and they wanted to hear some older stuff. But she did some older stuff. We even had Spring Breakers. We didn't think that was going to be played.
Yeah,
so
she played I Like It as well.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. The Icona Pop song.
Yeah.
With her featuring in it, obviously. But yeah, it was a great set. So that would be my number 2. And then number 3, I feel like I had a disappointing laneway in terms of usually I'm there nice and early and I see the earlier people. We left to get in before Olivia Dean so we could see Olivia Dean. I heard the start of Olivia Dean in the line, heard the finish of Olivia Dean in the line, and then half of Remy Wolf in the line as well. And I still hadn't made it into the festival.
Do you want to talk about how long it took you to get into there? Because I went like pretty much bang on 12:30, so it took me like 15 minutes to get in. Because I wanted to see like Renzo and Vera Allen and all the local guys and the earlier acts. But how long did it take you to get into the festival?
It was over an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. So yeah, I saw a full performance of Olivia Dean through the gate.
But you saw her the night before.
I saw her the night before, so that is definitely my redeeming factor. And that's probably why I was a little bit relaxed with getting there. I was like, I'll get there at 2:30. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, saw her the night before. So grateful I got to go to that. She, like you said, absolute angel. Yeah. One of those artists that you actually just can't take your eyes off.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
She just captivates the stage. Yeah. Dancing and love it. But gutting, I missed her at Laneway, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it took a long time. So ticket tech. So we had some pre-drinks at ours actually, which was super fun. Got a little bit carried away. I think we invited like 20 people to start with, and then
packed,
we had 62 people by the end of it. Oops.
Holy moly. That's a party, bro, not a pre-drink.
Yeah, I know. It was really fun though. We had croissants. We were responsible hosts. But everyone at the pre's was saying, oh my gosh, I can't get into my tickets through the Ticket Tech app.
Yeah.
Shout out Laneway, I will say, for using Ticket Tech, because we all know Ticketmaster has our issues.
Yeah.
I'm all for the fact that they're using Ticket Tech. But for safety, essentially, they made it that the tickets could only be accessed via the app, and they weren't going to send a PDF version because they can easily be screenshotted or shared around.
That's how I got in.
Yeah, well, only because it kind of, no, you were in there early. Yeah. So maybe, supposedly most people could only get it in for the Ticketek app.
There was massive things I saw online of like people waiting like 2 hours to get in because their Ticketek app wouldn't work. And,
I know.
But like I screenshot all my tickets just in case something like that happens. Yeah,
which is smart. Oh, so you screenshotted it prior
as soon as I got my ticket, I screenshotted it. Just in case I wouldn't be able to access it, because if my data wasn't working, if it needed data for whatever reason the app crashed, like it did, I still had it on my phone. Yeah,
which is the smart. That's a good way to go about it. But yeah, so the app completely just shat itself, for lack of a better word, and apparently I had friends who got in there, I think it was about like 1:32, and the security guards at the gate, because it had caused such a backlog, like right down the main road, they were just like, come in. They were just pushing everyone through. They weren't even checking tickets because it was crazy. It was turning into a safety issue, right? So, but yeah,
it's a busy street as well.
It's a very busy street. It took a long time, so that was really gutting. But yeah, third artist, I would probably have to say Remy Wolf, even though I only saw half of her set.
You heard the other half.
I heard the other half, and I got one drink basically when I came into Laneway, and I think that was maybe the only drink I bought the whole day. And when I was getting that drink in the drinks line, she played my favorite song. Yeah. But I was vibing in the drinks line. There were other people who were having a little boogie, so it was fine. Yeah. But I just couldn't see her.
You gotta show up earlier next time, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure.
I'll go back to going early.
Yeah.
Thought I'd give myself a year off of being a diehard Lake Barrier fan. They were like, this girl's back again. People, far out.
Yeah. But one thing I did want to talk about was just the crowd behavior in general as well. Because I thought personally, in my humble opinion, it was actually really good.
It was amazing.
Like there was barely any like pushing and shoving. There wasn't, there could have been, but where I was, there didn't seem like it. And from what I was talking to friends about who went, they didn't really experience any bad things in the pit or like around the festival in general. I feel like that's probably because there was like barely any dudes or barely any straight dudes.
I've seen a lot of commentary online as well of people saying that it seemed to be a primarily female focused crowd, and everyone was just,
I mean, the lineup was definitely curated for the girlies and the gays, right?
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. Totally. And I think that probably led into like people feeling safer because maybe dudes weren't like, I don't want to see Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Even though she's awesome.
100%. Yeah.
But I feel like overall, crowd behavior was really good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely my key takeaway. It just felt like a really nice, safe space.
Especially with that many people. There's almost 30,000 people in like an area. It's
Lots
very hard to manage, and there's bound to be like bad eggs within that many people. But
yeah.
overall, I think it was pretty good.
I agree. And lots of like shoulder action as well. People getting up on shoulders, other people being like protecting them around it,
sure they don't fall over.
Yeah, so lots of kind of camaraderie, I guess, between strangers. And then I guess on crowd behavior as well. I've seen, I don't know if you've seen those videos circulating of Charlie watching from the pit,
she was watching
Claro and Joe. I think she was like watching for a couple of acts.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure she was in, I don't think it was VIP as such. I think that front section was like a spark viewing area or something.
Afterpay area.
Yeah, that one. But she's just standing there, just chilling,
bro,
nodding around along, watching the artist, but no one's bothering her. And even the video I saw, I ended up leaving a little comment because it was a video of the stage watching the act and then like a kind of a pan to her friend who was beside her, and it was on her friend for a second and you could see Charlie in the background, but the caption was like, check out Charlie watching the acts at Laneway. And I was like, what a respectful video. Like she wasn't shoving the camera in Charlie's face. She was just like really subtly being like, look, she's in the background of my video. But everyone was so chill.
Shout out Charlie for wanting to go see the other acts too, because I feel like you never see that for obvious reasons. You don't want like to take away the shine or for people to like just swarm you, especially an artist of Charlie's size. But I think it was pretty awesome to see, because I saw like at least 4 or 5 at like a couple of the laneways that have been already. So shout out Charlie.
Shout out Charlie, and shout out people giving her space. I don't know. That's the cool thing about New Zealand, and that's what a lot of people say, right? As celebrities come here and they feel like they can be normal people.
Yeah, because no one really, people care, but like no one's going to bother you.
Exactly.
For the most part.
Yeah.
There's obviously going to be people who bother you.
Yeah.
Like, majority of the time, no one's going to be like, oh, yo.
You'll just be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh my God, there's Jason Momoa for like the 20th time today.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he pretty much lives there now.
Yeah, he does. So what do we reckon in terms of Laneway that they could have done better then? I have a couple of points, and obviously we've just been chatting about like the ticketing situation and entry, so we've covered those. But any other points?
I just wish there was more shade, bro. Yeah. Like that's a big thing. Like in such a large area at a time in like the year in New Zealand and Australia where it's gonna be scorching, and everyone knows the sun is a bit more like intense down here. Like for there to be how many, like 3 shaded areas of like, how big was it, like 100 square meters maybe? Like bro, you need more. And I wish they had like big canopies over like some of the stages. That would have been nice. So like at least like it's probably gonna be expensive, but like how many people do you reckon walked out of that day sunburned to the max? For sure.
I reckon all of the medical, like
heat stroke, bro. I was on the verge of it for sure.
Yeah, saw a couple of people being stretched out. Unfortunately, it happens all the time, but majority of them would have come down to heat for sure.
And my second one is like off the back of it. I wish they had more water stations.
Yes.
Because I only saw 2 and right in the middle.
Yeah.
But like if I was at the main stage or at the other stage, like I had to walk all the way there to get water, and that's through a crowd of 20,000 people.
Yeah.
So more water stations would have been good around the spot. I don't know if there were more.
Yeah.
Maybe there were and I just didn't see them.
They weren't obvious.
But the only 2 obvious ones were the 2 right next to like the trees in the middle.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think shade is a really interesting topic, and I could kind of talk about it for a while because it's a basic human need.
Yeah.
Or like, and you kind of expect it. It's your right to have shade when you go to an event like this, but then is it? Like, do you buy a ticket to an event at Western Springs and you go, oh, okay, there's actually not much shade there. I'm just going to have to be sensible and wear a hat and wear sunscreen. Of course, you should do all of those things, but are you expected to be in shade?
Obviously not all fully Laneway's fault, but they know. No. You have to know that most people aren't going to bring hats or... Yeah. They had a sunscreen station there. I saw that, which was good, but like, I don't know. I feel like you should... Okay, that's actually a valid point. It should be personal responsibility for sure. Yeah. Bring your sunglasses, bring a hat, all that stuff. But also, I just wish I didn't have to. Yeah. I just wish it was provided for me.
I think the hard thing too is that the VIP tickets and the VIP area were advertised as having a shaded area. So they knew that by sectioning that off and charging people more for it, they get shade. That's where it becomes a little bit shit.
I think it's also like going back to when it was at Albert Park. So much shade. Yeah. So much
Albert
shade.
Park was awesome.
I loved it when it was at Albert Park. The last 2 times I went, it was at Albert Park. But then also Albert Park is like also way smaller than the section where they had the 2 main stages at, and they would probably only fit like 15,000 people maximum.
Yeah.
And that would be like to the brink at Albert Park.
Yeah.
Whereas they can get close to 30.
Yeah, 26 I think.
Yeah. At Western Springs.
Yeah.
So it's just the natural evolution of the festival to get bigger, I guess.
Yeah. I have another what they could have done better, which I feel like probably applies more to you than it did me, but food lines.
Oh my God, bro. So I waited in line to get some hot chips for an hour. This was at like 5 or 6 p.m. I hadn't eaten all day because I was getting ready, went and got a haircut, ran home. I wanted to get there early. And then I was like, I'll be fine. I'll get some food there. Obviously, I had way more opportunities to get food earlier in the day, but I wasn't hungry. And I wanted to go see my friends. So by the time I was like, I should probably have something to eat now, it was late. Everyone was hungry as well. And I waited in this line for such a long time. Initially, then I think they ran out of fries because I saw this guy with a trolley waiting back like 10 boxes of fries. I was like, that's probably why the line's so long. Then keep waiting. Got to the front of the line and the F-Boss machine was broken. Yeah, or it wasn't connecting to the servers or whatever.
I can't believe that.
And I was just standing there. I only stood at the front like 15 minutes before. I was like, you know what, bro? Like, I just need to get back to finding my friends. I'll eat later on. If I just have enough water, I think I'll be fine.
I know.
Just stay hydrated, and I think the food can come later in the day.
Do you know what the worst part about that is?
I think.
Yeah. When we were still together at Joey Valence Bray, one of my friends came up to me and they were like, Danny, do you want these fries? And it was like this steaming hot cup of fries, and I literally devoured the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like someone took a photo of us in the mosh, like, oh, send it to our friend at home who isn't here. And I'm like going like this. There's like tomato sauce all up my hand because I had just been hoeing into the chips. But you could have had some of my chips. And you're like, I'm going to go get my own stuff.
But you didn't offer me any of your chips.
I'm pretty sure I did.
No, you didn't.
Whatever. Okay. We'll settle this after.
Yeah.
Turn the mics off. Another what they could have done better, and this isn't really Laneway's fault. I think it happens at festivals everywhere, is reception.
Oh, yeah.
When you put 26,000 people in one very small condensed space.
20 years to send a text.
Yeah. It's nothing Laneway can do about it, but it does still suck, and it makes it challenging.
Yeah. To find your friends.
Yeah. Find your friends and get Ubers and
if
stuff.
You know your friends are there, just walk around.
Come up
I was
with
by
like
myself like 3 hours.
A little signal.
Before I found you.
Yeah, I know.
Do that again?
Don't you know that? The emu? You pop your hand up and you go like this. Okay, I won't use the emu to find you next time. I'll brief you better.
What the heck is the emu, bro?
Surely you've seen the emu. Yeah, all
that's... It's like you're trying to put in a light bulb.
I pop in an emu and you put your hand up and turn the head. My gosh.
No, I've never seen that in my life until just now.
Oh my god.
None of my friends at a festival have ever done that. Oh, yo, dude, I'll
disappointed.
Pop up the emu real quick.
I found that is exactly how it goes. I found many a friends by popping an emu. I'll be on the phone. They're like,
no, a lot of your friends found you because I was with you and they just saw me.
Not at Laneway, just in the past. Like R&V used to have this big hill.
Oh, that's the I Love You Bro hill?
Yeah. I'm at the bottom of the hill. I'm like, I'll pop an emu. And then you look over the side of the crowd and you see this little emu. You're like, there's my friend.
What if it's dark?
There's phone lights. There's
so the emu doesn't work.
You could get like a little head torch for the emu maybe. I don't know.
We're going off track anyway. Anyway.
How did you feel about the layout and like the flow of the event with how the stages were set?
I'm still not fully sold on the 2 stages right next to each other.
Yeah.
Like I get it for the crowd control, but like say you're on like the stage that's on like the left, like the artist is, and you're on the right and you don't have an opportunity to move, then you can't really see the person.
No.
Or like unless you go walk all the way around and then all of a sudden you're all the way at the back. Or you have to push your way through.
I think that's kind of why they do it though.
Maybe. But then I'd be pissed if like I was there to see Charlie XX and I didn't have the opportunity to actually like see her.
Yeah.
Unless she was on a screen.
What was cool about Charlie is that she walked through.
She did. She walked through
stages.
And I wish they would have utilized that more, like put both stages on for her to go back and forth.
Yes.
Or had like a little like walk path between the two at the front that she could have like stood in the middle. I think that would have been great.
Because I think they used to do the split stages at Big Day Out, and that supposedly used to work quite well. Fun fact about me, I hate it, but I never went to a Big Day Out. It's so my scene. And I hate the fact that I never went to Big Day Out because it sounds like my dream festival.
Yeah. They always have the craziest lineups.
I know. Craziest.
This video is not about Big Day Out, so.
Craziest lineup.
No free promo Big Day Out.
Yeah.
Even though you don't
cut
know
it out.
Yeah, cut it out.
But yeah, split stages. I'm the same. I'm a little bit indifferent. I also feel like, so this year compared to last year's Laneway, they only had 2 stages rather than 3, like physically. So last year they had another stage up on the hill, kind of where the VIP was this time. I feel like the walk from the Charlie stage to the second stage where Bicep and Joey Balance, etc. was quite a hike, because you had to go all the way around and down. It wasn't just an easy straight through.
It was like a good 15-minute walk.
Yeah, so it was a big gap between them,
especially
which
if
made
you're
it
trying
difficult.
to see artists who are on both stages. Like,
yes, and
go
there's
to
like a
see
10-minute
Bicep
crossover
for like 15-20 minutes, then you see Charlie for the last part. Like, bro, that's a trek. That's a hike.
If you lose your mates, there's no way you're going to find them
you're done
again.
for.
Yeah, that is it. You have to make a commitment.
Yeah.
Speaking of, can we talk about Bicep and Charlie? The clash? I feel bad.
Charlie's just a bigger artist, bro.
You reckon? Yeah, I guess. I think there's a lot of people who were keen to see Bicep.
And why weren't they at the Bicep stage?
There were.
If they were that keen, there should have been more people there.
Yeah, it's fair. I guess that ever so slightly more keen for Charlie, and she won.
Yeah.
She won the battle.
Game's a game, man.
But why couldn't they just shut down that stage when Charlie was playing? Why couldn't Bicep play, for example, 7:45 to 8:45, and then Charlie plays 8:45 to 9:45?
Because then all the people would be in one area.
But they basically were anyway, yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think I guess so.
Because also they were both exclusive Laneway artists. So if you wanted to see either of them, the only place you could see them was Laneway.
When is there ever a festival that doesn't have a major clash?
Yeah.
Like, you have to, the festival game is about, you have to figure out a way to see all the people you want to see.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's on you.
And I am by no means saying that I'm an expert, because gosh, if you gave me all of those names and told me to plan, I'd freeze. That would be so hard. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's just.
So wait, do you think they should have done it differently?
I think they should have alternated. I don't think there was any need for 2 headliners to play at one time.
I guess.
And then they also made changes for the Australia run. So the first Australian Laneway was 2 days after ours.
Yeah, that was on Thursday. This was on Saturday.
Yeah,
in Brisbane, I think.
That's the one. Very soon after, anyway. And they adjusted the set time so that Bicep started 15 minutes before Charlie, so people could go to Bicep set.
Yeah,
but I don't think it made much of a difference, unfortunately.
Yeah. Or you can see 15 minutes of Bicep, or you can be in the pit at Charlie.
Yeah.
15 minutes Bicep and be all the way at the back.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I know. Speaking of being in the pit at Charlie, I was feeling a little bit gutted that we were so far back. Like, I would have loved to be closer.
It was also quiet where we were. I feel like the music wasn't that loud.
Yeah.
Because I was there and I could like hear everyone around me.
Yeah,
and like in a mosh pit, I'm like, I want to be deaf, bro. I do not want to hear anyone.
Yeah,
I want to hear the music.
Yeah, I don't wear my earplugs, and I usually put my earplugs in, but I didn't feel like I needed it, which is always a testament.
I don't know if they had, because we were like adjacent to where the sound desk was.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if they just didn't put speakers where the sound desk was.
Maybe.
Or like on the sides.
We were probably too far angled out to the left to pick up good sound.
But if they had it directed out towards us.
Yeah, true.
Or like, I don't know. I feel like the sound could have been a little bit better.
I realised how lucky we were, though, when I saw all of the snaps of Brisbane Laneway and people trying to watch. So packed. I don't think I've ever seen a concert like that. And so far away. Some people's snaps were like through grandstands, basically, through gaps in concrete seats. Insane.
That's a rip. But
yeah, I know. And we were just kind of chilling in the bag. We had so much space.
Maybe that's something they could have done better in Brisbane, is found a bigger venue.
Oh, that venue is like just a dirt patch, basically, as well. I was there for Wildlands for New Year's this year, just recently, and it's just, it's interesting.
But Laneway, we still love you.
We love you, Laneway.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
So probably my favorite festival in New Zealand at this point, until someone brings artists that I like more. But
yeah, I agree. And there were many things that they definitely did do well as well. Like,
yes, for sure.
The ticket fiasco, what they did do well is crisis management and emailing everyone their tickets. That would have been the biggest operation to do on the morning of the festival, / the festival had actually already started, gates had already opened. So hats off to them for doing that. What they also did well, and I know this wasn't intentionally, and sorry if you're 16 and you're listening, but making it R18 again. I know that was a licensing. No, I know, but it helped the vibes massively because
sure.
alcohol sale wasn't restricted.
Imagine they had this section off that main stage
area.
16-year-olds in there. Sorry, 16 and 17-year-olds, but like just having a liquor free zone in the middle of the main stage would have been such a hassle.
I think as an attendee over 16 too, it makes you feel just automatically a little bit kind of anxious and on edge because there's people there younger than you and you're kind of watching out for them, you're making sure you're not getting in their way, and it just, that all contributes to the vibe. So it was an amazing vibe. But
but they still sold out. Like,
exactly.
But I swear, like, everyone bought their tickets on like the last 2 weeks.
I don't know.
I saw on Instagram that was like 75% full, and then the day before was like 98.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is really like a quarter of all these people just bought their tickets last minute. Yeah. That's kind of wild.
I know. But no, it was amazing. And as you said, favorite festival. It was such a good day. It's going to take a while. Like, I'm interested to see if there's a gig that pops up in New Zealand this year that tops Laneway, because that was a bloody awesome start to the year, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know off the top of my head who even could compete realistically.
Watch this space, I guess.
Yeah, I guess festivals in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You have a tough job. Yeah. I mean, literally have great.
Oh, yeah.
Great festival. Oh, Tones and I pulled out, though. You see that?
Yeah.
Shake my head.
Raygun couldn't come to perform with
Raygun?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Raygun. Stop it, bro. Just stop. I think that's enough Laneway chat for now.
That's enough Laneway chat.
We've been talking for a little while on them. Another big thing that happened was the Superbowl halftime show.
I know. I need to get comfortable.
2 days ago, as of recording, Kendrick Lamar and SZA. What are your initial thoughts?
I have so many thoughts.
Danny's been wanting to talk about this ever since it like aired.
I know.
And I've just been saying, bro, save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast. We don't want to talk out all of our talking points before we actually have the chance to record it.
Messaging Shaden and Will in our podcast chat. And
Producer Will?
Producer Will. They're like, stop talking. I'm not going to talk to you.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later. I'm
mute,
like,
bro.
Oh, okay.
Mute. Go talk to your husband about it if you want to talk.
I guess my first thoughts on the performance, I did watch it at work in an office environment.
That's crazy.
I mean, we all gathered around the TV. Well, I think maybe like 8 of us out of probably 50 that were actually interested. So there's a bit of chatter. It wasn't, I couldn't have it up as loud as I would have liked. You couldn't really study it. So I've got to be honest, first watch, I was a little bit disappointed. I just was expecting something a little bit more bam. I think
I can't lie, I was the same. Because I feel like, but this is only on initial viewing.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to Super Bowl halftime shows being these massive theatrical, over-the-top performances. And I don't think Kendrick Lamar is that kind of artist.
Yeah.
He's an artist that definitely is a storyteller, has a lot of symbolism, has a lot of things you need to read into. Like, you need to watch that multiple times to really grasp what he's saying, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a common thought.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's people who got it first try.
Yeah.
I think the overall theme is maybe something that I don't have much knowledge on, being from New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think from the first watch, from the get-go, it was very obvious that it was a political statement and that he was making a statement and getting a message across. But I guess it took me more than one watch to kind of dissect exactly what that message was. From like a musical standpoint, I didn't know the first couple of songs because they were new songs, like very new songs.
GNX.
And I love Good Kid, Mad City. Like that's my Kendrick. I just love that album. But I would have loved to hear / see like Backstreet Freestyle or Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe or something. Like, can you imagine like the opening bars of the music for Backstreet Freestyle? That would have popped off.
On my initial thoughts, I was like, oh man, he's really not playing that many older songs. Like, he definitely played some Humble. He played Humble. He played, what else did he play? He played like 3 or 4 songs that weren't off GNX.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, you want to promote your new album as well. And like, it's very topical and you probably got booked off of that whole thing and the Drake beef and everything like that. Like, you're a very topical artist at the moment. Won
a Grammy from it.
Yeah, won multiple Grammys from it. To be honest.
Yeah, true. The SZA feature that was really interesting to me. So
she was lip syncing, bro.
Yes.
The mic was not on.
The mic was not on, which is so
bro.
frustrating because for her Auckland concerts and for the rest of her tours, the mic was so on.
Yeah,
She's an incredible vocalist.
Was she sick that day?
I know.
Was there a reason why she had to lip sync? Because when she came on, I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna have some vocals now. And then immediately as soon as she started singing, I was like, that mic is not on.
Yeah.
At all.
I know. It was really disappointing.
And I'm not gonna hate on people who lip sync because it's high pressure situation, but like a Super Bowl is like a one take. People make mistakes. People have made vocal mistakes in the past.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys did it last year.
Yeah.
She had a little voice crack, but I think you just gotta own it.
I know. What I thought was interesting, and I don't know, this is just what I thought, and I haven't kind of looked into what people have been saying online, but it seemed to me that she was lip syncing for 30 for 30, the new song with Kendrick.
Yeah.
But she was singing All the Stars live.
I don't know.
All the Stars definitely felt like it had moments of being live, and maybe that would make sense because she simply knows that song. It's been out in the world for so many years, and it's know the other song so too. Big.
It's been
but maybe she's not used to performing it live, and she didn't have the confidence.
That's why you have rehearsals.
Supposedly, Kendrick had to submit his theme and idea that he wanted for the show in like November, and then it obviously is
notoriously very controlling
February.
about what the artist can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like you can only have a 13-minute maximum performance.
Yeah.
Like they cap you, and I get it. Like it's a halftime show, but
totally. I know. I think
so much you can do in 13 minutes.
Forget that the main act is actually the Super Bowl.
But is it really?
Yeah. Well,
is it really?
That's an interesting topic point. Like, is it or is it the halftime show?
I can't name 3 football players on either of those teams.
Yeah, but
combined.
You're not a football fan.
No.
Neither am I. This is the wrong podcast
to be talking about. If you want football chat, this is the wrong podcast.
Which one is more
American
popular?
football. The fake football.
Fake football.
But
the ball's not even around.
No, more people definitely tune in for the halftime show than the actual football. Because American football is so boring.
We should find some stats on that because I can guarantee there are people there that are obviously wanting to watch the football. My brother is one of them, prime example. I know a lot of people who literally would switch away for the halftime show. They'd be like, oh, I'll come back in 13 minutes. This is my drinks break.
Actually, the stat I saw this morning was the viewership for the halftime show is the most in the Super Bowl halftime show history.
Wow.
I think it was 135 million people.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a pretty interesting stat I saw.
That's massive for Kendrick.
Yeah.
That's
huge, bro. That's worldwide. I mean, he could probably do that anytime he goes, bro. To be honest, he's Kendrick Lamar, but I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
It's amazing. So I guess can we talk about some of, going into the nuances of his performance?
Yeah.
Some of the messages and the things that he was portraying and why this will make history. You can start. Do you have any?
Well, I feel like it's obviously a commentary on the state of America.
Yeah.
You can immediately see that with the colors. They stand in formation of an American flag. It's about, I think, the division between Black Americans and non-Black Americans and how people view Black Americans. And people can tell me if I'm wrong, if I maybe missed something or misread something. But even the Uncle Sam reference that was immediately there with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think one of the lines was, he was like, no, you're too loud, too obnoxious, too ghetto. And I think that's quite how, especially now that the big DJT, not JT, sorry, Justin Timberlake, is like now in office. I think it's like very much so a commentary and interesting way of portraying how maybe Americans view each other now. Or more than ever with so much social divide.
Yeah.
I think that was the overall major thing, and they view it as like a game. Like Black American, you got to play the game. You got to uphold to our standards. You got to do all these things for us to view as people, because they were slaves. They were enslaved. I'm rambling through this. There was also, he said, like 40 Acres and a Mule. Yeah. Was more than just the music.
Yes.
Obviously, 40 Acres and a Mule were what was promised to slaves who had been freed to help them, with their financial situation that was never upheld. I think there's a whole lot of commentary and a whole lot of motifs and symbolism to do with a whole bunch of Black Americans and the divide in America at the moment. Yeah.
And when he was standing on the car, the GNX at the start of the performance, and he said, the revolution about to be televised, you pick the right time with the wrong guy.
That's tough.
That's pretty cool.
That's hard.
I know, I've seen
it's a Jill Scott reference too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is it Jill Scott? Is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Rings a bell. I also saw a quote floating around saying, well, what was it? It wasn't just a concert. It was a cultural event, a victory lap.
100%.
That's cool. That definitely sums it up.
I actually have a quote from the biggest fanboy of Kendrick that I know, Tom Guru. I asked him for this commentary because I knew he's the kind of guy that will look into all the symbolism and, really go in depth about it. So he said, this was Kendrick's coronation as a superstar. The past year, Kendrick has fought for the soul of art and hip-hop, and his performance was the final nail in the coffin. He stayed authentic and never pandered to the mainstream American audience, a triumph for a man who had to fight for everything and never had anything handed to him. He goes on to say, also his set list was so bold, he chose to take the biggest moment of his career and tell a story of who he is now rather than focusing on the past. It's what makes him a special artist, and anything other than that would have felt false.
Wow.
I think that's a very profound thing to say from
Shout
Mr.
out
Tom
Tom. That's amazing.
And I think that's also a great
that's such a good
recap.
way to look at it. Yeah. Interestingly, and maybe this is controversial to say, but yes, agree with all of those things. Does it not feel a little bit like self-indulgent, so to speak, to play out the Not Like Us Drake shaming storyline?
Hell no.
No?
Do it, bro. This is a rap beef.
Yeah.
Like, there's no boundaries. People die over rap beefs. This is a halftime performance. This is tame.
Yeah. But I guess that's his personal beef, and it's not...
He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. But to me, it was almost like they were kind of like mixed messaging. The rest of the story and the messaging was so strong and clever, and the little nuances that people have since found, the PlayStation controllers and the, all of that sort of stuff, the American flags, the broken American flags. But then there's so much on his hate for Drake as well.
It's also his biggest song at the moment.
It is his biggest song.
He won like 3 Grammys for it.
Yeah.
He should play it. He should play whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And it's good because like it is a victory lap for him.
Yeah.
He's like kind of just put the crown on top of his head and be like, I'm that guy now.
Yeah. And what did he say just before? I want to perform their favorite song, but they love to sue.
Drake, man. Drake's in the mud right now, bro.
And then he does it. And apparently there were ramblings from Drake's management, et cetera, that they could get in a whole lot of financial shit if he played Not Like Us, or if he said, not played Not Like Us, sorry, but if he said Drake's name. And
he did.
And then he said Drake's name,
and
he
looked down the barrel of the camera and said, hey, Drake.
I know.
Like that.
Crazy.
That was tough.
And then the A on his his chain. People are saying that was to do with the A minor lyric in his song.
I don't think it is, bro. Like, it's a lowercase A. I think it's a PG Lang thing, his Kendrick Lamar's record label.
Interesting.
I think people are looking too deep into it. It could be like a triple entendre right there, but I think it's less of a thing to focus on.
Yeah.
As opposed to the performance.
I think that is the cool thing about the performance, though. And this is also the cool thing about the internet, is that so many people have an opinion on the performance and the little nuances that they've found. I don't know if we're ever going to know whether these people are correct, but some of the stuff they're coming up with is amazing. But maybe, I don't know, maybe one day Kendrick will come out and explain every little bit of detail.
But I feel like it's cool to kind of have people build their own opinions and thoughts about it personally. Cause
and that's part of the art, right?
Yeah, it's like a story. Everyone has their own beginnings, middles, and ends. Like, if how you view it is how you view it. And I think as long as you get the overall, like the overarching message, I think it's chill. Yeah.
And I did read one article released just recently from the show's art director. Her name was Shelley, and she said that people were speculating that the start of his performance looked like a PlayStation controller, but that was Kendrick's idea, and she thinks it was to kind of relate and appeal to the younger communities, but B, to show his life in like a game scenario, which is quite cool.
I don't even think it's just his life. I think it's the life of all Black Americans. They kind of force into playing the game of America and the American government and what non-Black Americans kind of perceive to be the right way to do things.
No, it's you're very right, and I think
I could be reading way too deep into that.
But
I think that's what you're supposed to do with Kendrick Lamar.
Exactly. And I think all of his music has always been very clever.
That's true.
So I think it makes sense that this performance has a lot to dissect and it is clever. Yeah. And I think it's cool because it's one of those performances that personally I feel like it's going to hit harder and harder as the years go on. Like it really is going to be something that people talk about. Remember Kendrick's 2025. That's nuts. Like remember how he stood for this and that. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one that we'll talk about for a long time.
On Twitter. I don't know how many people on Twitter, Republican politicians, just having absolute meltdowns about this is the worst, most boring halftime show ever. Like
really?
DEI. Like where's all the white people? Like bro, shut up.
Really?
Bro, there was at least 20 people I saw saying stuff like that.
Blows my mind that people
not to
actually
get political about it, but
share those thoughts.
I think that's a very interesting byproduct of the performance. Instead of reading into like what he's actually saying, you're just complaining about it.
There's just whole other sides to the world and people that you just never know of, eh?
Yeah.
Crazy. Speaking of sharing thoughts, I asked on my Instagram what people thought of the event and of the performance, and I thought I'd just like share some of them because it's quite interesting. I had one person say boring, but that was it. But then followed that, someone said it was great. Only people that didn't like it were old, white, and racist.
Hey, shots fired at that first person.
I know.
He thought it was boring.
Another Tom actually also had some feedback on Instagram. He said maybe the greatest hip hop move ever, calling out Drake's name and smiling to camera. Someone else also said that. Hey Drake, that man's smile was pointed. I live for it.
Yeah.
Someone else said Twitter said it was mid, as you just said, and that it was the worst show ever. But I think sometimes you have to look deeper.
People who think that's the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever have not seen the other Super Bowl halftime shows. Yeah. Because there have been some absolutely atrocious ones before.
Yeah.
Like all the Disney ones. They had an Indiana Jones one in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Bro, those were absolutely horrible.
We've come far. We've come a
very long way, bro.
But no, the general consensus is kind of the same as what we've been saying. And the last couple of comments were political and strong, loved the colour mixing and the taking of the knee. Flawless, Uncle Sam was genius. That was a genius way. A minor was iconic. The crowd screaming that back like nuts. And then we just had someone saying in capitals, art. A-R-T.
Art, for sure. Kendrick Lamar, I think, is just an artist first and foremost. A storyteller. A guy who definitely always has political opinions or very strong opinions on things and expresses it through his art. Yeah. So I feel like, if you're not really like... If you're not too familiar with Kendrick's work, it's definitely something that you need to, or majority of the time, things you need to listen to fully and like truly understand what he's saying. Yeah. Rather than just like have it on the background. Yeah. He's not like a background music kind of artist.
He's like, show yourself in the room, turn it up real full volume.
Like close your eyes and lie down. And
sit with your hands.
Listen to what he's saying.
In your face. Yeah.
But not too much more Kendrick Mead writing. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice. Speaking of then, favorite halftime performance?
I've done a deep dive into this, bro.
I'm ready.
I have my top 3, and then I have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a few.
I haven't gone that far.
I think there is a clear and obvious number 1. Personally, it's Beyonce in 2013. You haven't seen that Beyonce performance?
I've seen it. I just don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know.
Bro,
I guess I feel
the best.
indifferently about Beyonce these days. Can I say that?
Yeah, but you don't have to feel the most like very strongly about Beyonce to know that she's a performer, bro. Yeah. I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan ever. A lot of my friends can attest to that. I think she's low-key kind of overrated, but that halftime performance was amazing. Yeah. True performer, choreography was great. Yeah. The set design was really cool. Destiny's Child reunion on there was also pretty awesome. True. Like it was a big theatrical performance, which is majority of the time what Super Bowls are. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I'm a theatrics girly as well. Like I love a bit of. I can't believe you don't like the Beyonce one. No, I like it. When was the last time you watched it?
A while ago.
You need to rewatch it, bro, and just truly appreciate
and just put them on loop.
What kind of performances?
Yeah, okay. I'll go back.
Okay, so number 2. Do you want to go back and forth, or should I just read all mine out?
Go for it.
Okay, number 2. This is slightly biased because he's probably my favorite artist of all time. Usher, Last Year.
I'm so intrigued by that. I feel like I just have to interrupt. I feel like the general consensus of the internet is Usher was mid.
But that's the general consensus of everyone who ever watches a Super Bowl ever online. They say the Kendrick one was mid. They say everyone's one is mid. But they can't explain why it was mid. Bro's mic was on.
Yeah,
he was singing the whole time.
On, but nothing else.
He was dancing. You know, it was in Vegas, and I think it truly embodied like the whole, like how crazy Vegas is. He had a lot of the Vegas dances.
Was he on roller skates or something?
He was on roller skates at one point. You know, he has hits too. He performed the hits.
I'm not doubting that. Musically, I think it was good. I think performance, it was just messy. There was people.
But that's what Vegas is.
Everywhere, limbs
Vegas
everywhere.
Is a big miss.
Still do it
Vegas
well,
is where the Super Bowl was last year, and he had a Vegas residency at the time. It's not that it was a miss. I would think it was a calculated miss. It's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to be like kind of larger than life. So much going on.
Which also just doesn't make sense because his music is not that.
No, but your music doesn't always have to be a representation of how you perform it.
I think maybe that's why it's a bit polarizing, because there was lots of people everywhere and limbs everywhere, and the choreographs were just like a little bit clunky, but then he's singing like really softly smooth kind of R&B.
Not all of his songs are all like that though.
Yeah.
The Alicia Keys performance was good. Besides that one voice crack she had. Love Alicia Keys.
I love her too.
Yeah, she's great. He brought out her. Love
that
her.
Was cool.
The Lil Jon and Ludacris cameos.
True, I forget
good.
They had all of those.
You know, like the outfit changes. The rose game was really cool. Like I think people severely underrate Usher's halftime performance.
Yeah,
because he's a performer.
He is. And you can tell he puts a lot of work.
Yeah, and I think that's like if you don't like R&B, if you don't want slow music, then maybe it's not for you. But like, you know. Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, opinion's valid.
Stop underrating Usher.
Interesting.
Stop underrating Usher.
You hit it.
Number 3. I kind of went in the wrong order. I should have went 3 to 1, but I've been best to my third. But
that's right.
Is Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and everyone else in 2023.
Yeah.
I think the set design was really cool. I like how they had like the map of Compton underneath the whole set, which is really nice. It was the first fully hip-hop halftime show ever, which is really historic. Obviously Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg are from LA. I think it was in LA that year as well. So I think it was really symbolic. I think the performances were great. There was star-studded, you know, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
You know, everyone was there, and I think they all had their own. There were so many superstars, but it didn't feel clunky.
Yeah.
Like everyone had their time to shine.
Yes.
And everyone, you know, did their thing without interrupting other people's.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
At all.
No, that makes sense. I'll just jump in there and say that is my favorite too.
Your favorite of all time?
Think that's my favorite of all time. We kind of have touched on this in previous episodes and other episodes, I think, but it goes back to nostalgia. Like some of the songs that they were playing, like In the Club, California Love, Mad City. That's all just...
If you definitely grew up in like the early 2000s or like were old enough to like really appreciate music around then, I think that was definitely a halftime show for you.
Totally. And I think because I am such an Eminem fan, like hearing those opening beats of Lose Yourself.
Yeah. Anderson .Paak just having the greatest, like his greatest moment of his life as
Anderson .Paak on the drums.
He was living life, bro.
I love him on the drums too. He's always so smiley. It makes me so happy.
One thing I do not like about that performance though is like, well, this is every performance of Super Bowl is like, the instruments aren't played live.
Yeah.
And you can just tell. And then like people are playing the instrument. And I'm just like, bro, like they're not playing. Just, or, like let them play or just like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought that was kind of weird.
It is weird. And I
get it,
wonder
but like
why.
it's kind of strange. You need so many mics for like drum kits and
so much room for error, I guess. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. I have 3 honorable mentions that I'll just mention real quick. Michael Jackson in 1993.
Yeah.
Purely because bro started off his performance just standing there for like 2 minutes doing nothing. And everyone just lost their mind. Like that's aura. Bro had aura. Bro maxed out his aura that day.
Yeah, max aura points.
Bro, max aura. He just stood there.
Yeah.
And just stared into the side, and then people were like, wow. I thought that was pretty awesome. Lady Gaga, I think, was a pretty awesome performance.
One. Yeah.
In 2017.
Yeah.
She utilized a lot of the stage, you know, opening sequence with her on top, with the drones behind her was really cool. Then she jumped off.
Yeah.
But, you know, outfit changes.
Yeah.
She's a performer as well.
Yeah.
And then my last honorable mention is Shakira and J-Lo in 2020.
Okay, yeah.
I think, again, 2 good performers. Yeah. You know, J-Lo has issues, but Shakira was awesome. Huge performance.
Yeah.
I think it was in Miami,
which
has like a big Latina and Latino community, which is pretty awesome to have them perform in that kind of space as well.
Yeah, nice. To be honest, you've kind of covered all of my favorites. The only additions that I would have is Rihanna. That was a good one.
I think her one was low-key overrated, bro.
Yeah.
Like the big thing with hers is she was in the air, but like as soon as she was on the floor, it was kind of boring.
She was also pregnant. Okay. Gotta give it to her.
What about your backup dances, bro? What about everything else you can do?
I saw some comments online actually saying that Kendrick's dances this year were like a Temu version of Rihanna's backup dances.
No, bro. Oh, the outfits are kind of similar, I guess.
Yeah, the outfits were similar.
I love Rihanna,
boiler suits,
but I don't think her Super Bowl halftime show is like that great.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was up there. And then another one, which I admittedly have not watched in a long time, but it was one of those ones that was kind of drilled into me as like, this is Super Bowl music history, you must watch it and appreciate it, was the Prince performance.
Oh yeah, the Prince one was also really, really good.
Yeah, I think that's like a legendary status. But for sure. In terms of sitting down and like showing friends one night, like, oh, look at this performance, I wouldn't gravitate to putting that one on.
So last but not least, I think we're going to touch quickly on the Grammys. Because that's also another massive thing that happened in the past couple of weeks.
We'll try and be quick.
Yeah, we'll try and be quick because we're running very, very low on time right now.
But I think we should probably just start by reading out kind of the key awards and recipients.
I only know a couple of people who won, I'm not going to lie. So a lot of these will be like initial opinions.
Let's talk about the one that is at the forefront of everyone's lips, right?
Yeah.
The album of the year.
Yeah.
And up for nomination was Andre 3000 with New Blue Sun, Billie Eilish with Hit Me Hard and Soft, Chappell Roan with The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, Charlie XCX with Brat, Jacob Collier with Jessie Volume 4. Not sure. And I think I butchered the pronunciation of his album. Sorry, Jacob. Sabrina Carpenter with Short and Sweet, and Taylor Swift with The Tortured Poets Department.
That's a lot of great albums on there.
A lot of great albums. And
that was a good year for music last year.
And the winner was Beyonce with Cowboy Carter.
That stupid country album.
I thought you were going to say something else for a second.
Partial country album, bro. Like, bro, that was not the best album that came out last year.
No. It is.
I think there's at least 3 albums on there that are better.
So interesting. And the fact that Taylor Swift was giving her that award too.
Yeah.
Absolutely
that's
wild.
Crazy.
Absolutely wild.
Do you reckon Beyonce thanks herself when she wins a Grammy?
Yeah, I know.
You know how everyone thanks Beyonce when they win Grammys?
What I want to do is go back over the broadcast of the Grammys and count how many people thanked Beyonce.
Yeah.
How many people feared for their life.
Thank you, Beyonce.
That's a whole nother
Thanks for this podcast,
topic.
Beyonce.
My friend has an interesting theory at the end of this Grammys performance that Jay-Z paid for Cowboy Carter to win so that the heat was taken off him in the Diddy situation. Him and Beyonce and the Diddy.
It's not a far reach. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, it's valid, right?
It is valid.
Yeah. I know.
People are still gonna put heat on him though. It's a pretty big situation. I don't know if Beyonce winning a Grammy is really gonna take that much heat off you.
I know, but people are gonna talk about the fact that that album probably shouldn't have won.
No, definitely not.
You've seen all of the reactions of all of the pop stars, like literally just their faces like plummeting and being so shocked when Cowboy Carter was announced.
Can you read out the nominations again?
I can indeed. We had Andre 3000, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Charlie XCX, Jacob Collier, Sabrina Carpenter, and Taylor Swift.
Probably, in my humble opinion, it probably should have either gone to Charlie or Billie.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Charlie had the cultural backing for sure. Like that was a cultural moving album.
Brat is like a masterpiece as well in terms of
it's more
like
than just
music.
the music now, Brat.
Yeah, exactly. Chappell Roan also like
she had a huge year.
Bloody hell, like Hot to Go, that song, or Pink Pony Club as well. They'll be moments forever.
For sure.
But yeah,
that Billie Eilish album is awesome though.
Yes.
Fantastic album.
And interestingly, so Hit Me Hard and Soft is a beautiful album, as you say. It has 2.1 billion streams on streaming platforms.
Is that it?
Yeah, maybe at the time of the Grammys, or maybe it's just on Spotify. But it has 2.1 billion. And sorry, I've read that around the wrong way. So Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish has 5.57 billion streams.
More like, I was about to say 2 billion seems low.
And Cowboy Carter has 2.1. So it's like literally half the amount of streams. And I know not everything is down to streams these days, but streams also does help.
I think it's indicative of what the people think about it.
Well said.
To a degree.
Yeah. Wild.
Can you name 2 songs off that Beyonce album?
God.
One song off that Beyonce album. This ain't Texas.
Texas Hold'em or whatever
that's the only
it was.
one, bro. It's only because of Spotify, of TikTok as well.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that song's trash.
But there's so many from Billie Eilish that I can, pop into my head. Lunch, The Greatest, like Birds of a Feather.
Yeah,
It's
a
masterpiece. It is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole thing.
Controversial.
And apparently Billie she cried when it was announced. And I don't know if that's because she put in so much hard work into that album.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
Everyone would have.
Yeah. So that was pretty controversial, I think.
Yeah, for sure that was pretty controversial.
We also had...
Who won Song of the Year or
Record of the Year?
What's the difference between Song of the Year and Record of the Year, by the way?
I think it's the same thing, is it not?
No, there's two different categories. Maybe one includes songwriters and one's just the performance.
Yeah.
Sure.
And maybe record is based on sales.
I
but then
know. But
it shouldn't
what
be a
the other one
surprise.
be about? Yeah.
Yeah.
What won Record of the Year?
We'll find out. Record of... Yeah, you're right. There's Song of the Year and Record of the Year. Record of the Year was Kendrick Lamar with Not Like Us. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Record of the Year, Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us won. He was up against the Beatles, Now and Them, Beyonce, Texas Hold'em.
The Beatles?
Yeah. I have thoughts on this. It's all just remastered stuff. Why are they up? Like, why are they in multiple categories? I don't know. Like, no shade against the Beatles. You're awesome, but...
Most of them are dead, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's
all just remastered stuff. So, anyway, Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather, Chapel Roan, Good Luck Babe. Forgot. Yeah, I was like, hot to go. Pink Pony Club. There's also Good Luck Babe. That album is massive. Charlie XCX 360, which is an interesting song, actually, for Record of the Year.
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter, Espresso, and then
Great
Taylor
song.
Swift featuring Post Malone with Fortnite.
Never even heard that song.
How have you not heard that?
Because I don't listen to Taylor Swift.
Wow. I just thought they would have been shoved down your throat by Spotify or something, but maybe not.
No.
Okay. Interesting. Song of the Year, we had Shabuzi with A Bar Song Tipsy. Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather.
Yeah.
Again, second nomination for that. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Die With a Smile. God.
Oh my God.
Most boring song ever.
Isn't that the fastest song to reach 1 billion streams ever, though?
Yeah, it is so boring.
It's not that boring,
They're
bro.
both incredible artists.
You're a Taylor Swift fan. You're saying that song's boring. That's crazy.
We'll take this outside after the podcast. Taylor Swift with Fortnite.
That's a crazy take. We're not moving on from this. That's a crazy take.
We've got to move on. We're nearly out of time. Chapel Roan, Good Luck Babe. Kendrick Lamar was up with Not Like Us. Sabrina Carpenter was with Please, 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 and Beyonce with Texas Hold'em. Who won Song of the Year? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Kendrick Lamar was Not Like Us. Well. He won that one as well.
Drake just keeps holding L's, bro. Keep holding those L's.
Yeah, so Song of the Year awards, just to recap, they go to the songwriter of the song, and then Record of the Year is kind of the performer, the producer,
the engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Love it.
Makes sense.
Love it. Best New Artist. This is probably one that I did agree with. We had Benson Boone, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Karambing, Ray, Chapel Roan, Shabuzi, and Teddy Swims.
See, I have an issue with this category. All those artists have been doing things for so long.
Yeah, they're not new. Yeah, they haven't been hustling for a year.
They're new to maybe
they've been hustling for 10 years.
The people who decide, but because Victoria Monet won Best New Artist last year too. Yeah. And she has been hustling for over 10 years.
Yes.
Same with all these artists.
And same with
Sabrina Carpenter was nominated.
She was a Disney
girl. She's done 5 albums.
100%. Yeah. And Chapel Roan is the winner of that category. Okay, and she's been a huge year. She has had a massive year, but you're right. She's been an artist for a long time.
She's been a touring artist for years, bro.
It would be interesting. We should look it up later as to what quantifies a best new artist. How new do you have to be, or what are the metrics that are being judged?
It's kind of like breakthrough artists, I would assume, more than best new artists.
And then we had best pop solo performance was Sabrina Carpenter, Espresso. She was up against Beyonce, Charlie, Billie, and Chapel. Best pop vocal album. So cool little fact about this one was that it was the first time that all female artists were nominated. No males, all females.
Sick. Was it best pop vocal?
Best pop vocal album, yeah.
Nice.
So we had Sabrina Carpenter with Short and Sweet, Billie Eilish with Hit Me Hard and Soft, Ariana Grande with Eternal Sunshine, which is actually an incredible vocal album anyway. Chapel Roan, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, and Taylor Swift, The Tortured Poets Department.
Who won?
Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet.
Yeah. Let's go, Sabrina.
Let's go.
Billie Eilish didn't win a Grammy for that album?
No.
That's robbery, bro.
Did Billie Eilish win any Grammys?
I don't know. You're the one reading it. You tell me, bro, if she won a Grammy or not. If Billie Eilish didn't win a Grammy, that's actually kind of wild for one, Birds of a Feather. Huge song. And that whole album was amazing too. It kind of gives me vibes. No, it doesn't actually. What's the biggest controversy in Grammys history, in my opinion? So no one asked me. When bloody Old Mate Macklemore won the best hip hop album over Good Kid, Mad City, Nothing Was the Same, Magna Carta, Holy Grail, and Yeezus. That's the biggest robbery of all time. That was the worst album out of all those. Still haven't recovered from that. That's the moment I knew the Grammys was full of it, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm back from my researching.
Okay, she's back now.
Thanks for holding this space. I love it. Billie Eilish did not win any Grammys.
That is crazy.
And you know who also didn't win?
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. She's got enough.
I think that knocks her. If she won, she would have won something like 5 years in a row and held the record. I think it was 5 or 4.
That album wasn't even that good, and I know that because I didn't listen to it.
You actually cannot judge. That's not how judging works. You have to actually be actively listening.
Okay, producer Will wanted us to add in another category that we didn't talk about here.
And there was no way we could ever not cover this. Yeah. So best rap album.
Yes.
We had up for nomination Common and Pete Rock with the Auditorium Volume 1.
Common, bro.
Yeah. We had Doechii with Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Yes.
Eminem with The Death of Slim Shady.
I don't know.
Future and Metro Boomin with We Don't Trust You. And then J. Cole Might Delete Later.
Nah.
And the winner was?
Doechii, surely.
Doechii with Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Bro, Doechii is the most underrated rapper in the game right now, I think. It's her and Glorilla, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's incredible. I've only just recently gotten on the Doechii train.
She's awesome, bro.
She is amazing. And her Grammys performance, can we talk about that?
I didn't watch it.
Have you seen?
No.
Oh, you need to see it. It's amazing. It's so good. She's got choreography, her breath control as well when she's dancing around. So good. And she does this bit where she kind of like walks. She uses her dancers as a platform and like walks up and then falls on top of them. She lands in like a split formation. Yeah. She's got like a full outfit reveal. Her first outfit gets pulled off her and then she's in this tiny little like top and pants situation. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good. So good.
Shout out Doechii.
Shout out Doechii.
We love you.
We love you. Come to New Zealand.
We love all of our listeners who have been listening to episode 2 of the For the Fans podcast. Thank you very much. We're going to end this here.
That is how you wrap it.
What a great segue. Appreciate everyone.
Yeah.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.